Okay, Mr. Sunday, though, we can hear you? Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. Okay, we have Jane Obieke. Jane, are you on?
Yes, I'm on. Good evening.
Good evening.
Mr. G.O.
All right.
I really want to say a big thank you to you and your team. The past 2 days has been eye-opening, enlightening, educative, and insightful. I am an educator, and I happen to work with teachers, other teachers. I help to coordinate teaching where I work. So what I've learned in these 2 days about emotional intelligence, it has helped me, just like the last speaker said, discover some of my shortcomings. And I believe that with the knowledge I've gotten, God helping me to implement, it's going to make the relationship between myself and my staff to be better. And also, the generation we are in now, children, the generation we are in, the children of nowadays are not being brought up the way we were brought up, with spanking and all of that. So what I've learned to also help me to understand the students better, counsel where I'm supposed to counsel, and also be firm when I'm supposed to be firm. So thank you so much. It's been an awesome time actually in class. Thank you.
Wow, lovely, lovely. Okay, Mr. Sunday Edo, can we hear you? You're still raising your hand. You can unmute yourself, sir. Okay, let me unmute you here. Sunday Edo? All right, go ahead, sir. We're actually not hearing Mr. Sunday Edo.
How you can resolve issues between you, your husband, your wife, between relations, between friends. How you can resolve issues without going to court.
Wow.
I also discovered you can also have empathy. To come to a solution. You can also develop, enhance your emotional intelligence.
Wow. Wow. Lovely.
Also, that when you have empathy, it affects your emotions.
Yes, sir.
So I think we need this to actually develop our human relationship with others.
Thank you, sir.
Especially when husband and wife issues, family, extended family. Within somebody who please address some of these problems. I think I've gained a lot from these 2 days lesson. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm grateful.
Thank you very much, and thank you everyone for this review. And I want to assure you that today would not be different. Today we would gain insights. We will gain serious insights, I can assure you. And emotional intelligence is part of everyday life, is part of everyday work. Okay, so let's go right into the session for today. I am Gabriel Onovo, your conflictologist, emotional intelligence coach, your peace and ADR consultant. And today we're looking at emotional intelligence, mastering emotional intelligence for leadership, self-mastery, and peace building in a complex world. Mastering emotional intelligence for leadership, self-mastery, and peace building in a complex world. All right, so let's delve in. So the question is, we are looking at the unit 1. What we'll be getting from the unit 1 is the foundation of emotional intelligence, which we call EQ, that's emotional quotient. The key learning objectives are, we'll define emotional intelligence, emotional quotient, and intelligence quotient. And in the course of this class, you will observe that almost every speaker has been talking about emotional intelligence, emotional quotient, and intelligence quotient. And we will be understanding Goldman's 5 dominants of emotional quotient. That is the 5 components of emotional quotient. We also recognize the impact of emotional quotient in leadership and conflict resolution. We'll have also begin a self-assessment of emotional quotient, identify growth areas. That is some of the things we shall be doing in this class. Now, the question is, what is emotional intelligence? Like it is often said, emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, to understand, manage emotions of ourselves, and also recognize and influence the emotions of others. Emotional intelligence is your ability to understand your emotion, recognize your emotions, manage your emotions, and as well understand, recognize, and influence the emotions of others. Foundation, it is a foundation for resilience, is a foundation for empathy, maturity, social connection. And Goldman said in one of his quotes, he said, it is not the smartest people who are the most successful. It is those who are emotionally intelligent. That is Daniel Goleman. He said, it is not the smartest people who are the most successful. It is those who are emotionally intelligent. And this can be replicated in our circles. You will understand, even while you were in school, you probably, when you were in secondary school or in the university, there was this particular student, or I think that is more replicated in the secondary arena. You see this particular student who is very intelligent, and you will assume that this will result into success in life. And probably you see this other student who is so playful, interacting, and later in life you discover that this particular student who is so brilliant and everything is, I mean, just managing his life somewhere, working. And this other one that supposedly is playful is like the big guy there. And you wonder how this thing happens. And like in our first class, Laura made mention of something. He said, you go to the market, probably, you see someone selling meat, 5 people selling meat, and you discover that a lot of people are beside one of the sellers. And these other 4 are there. So what is the difference? Emotional intelligence, their ability to connect with people. So that is what Daniel Goleman was saying, that emotional intelligence is important. So what is emotional quotient? I often say that emotional quotient is the umbrella, is the measurable score index of emotional intelligence. The good thing about emotional intelligence is that it is flexible. It can be developed. It can be developed. So what is IQ, emotional intelligence quotient? Measures logic. It measures logic, reasoning, memory, cognitive skill. However, it's not sufficient alone for leadership or human interaction success. Intelligence quotient is not sufficient for the fact you are skilled in your area of discipline, for the fact you are knowledgeable in that area of discipline. It is not enough to ensure success in life. So let's look at the distinction between intelligence quotient. It's equals to thinking. EI, that's emotional intelligence, understanding emotions. Emotional quotient, the measure of emotional intelligence. Like we said, emotional quotient is the measure of emotional intelligence. Examples: high IQ engineers fails at team leadership due to poor empathy. For the fact you are skillful, but you don't have the people skill, you will fail in managing. You will fail in leadership. So high IQ engineers fail at team leadership due to poor empathy. Due to poor empathy. High EQ leaders build trust despite less technical skills. What it means is that someone with high emotional intelligence or emotional quotient as a leader will easily build trust, even though he is not as skillful as the man with the intelligence quotient engineer. Now, we have the 5 called components or domains of emotional quotient by Daniel Goleman. 1, he says self-awareness. Know your emotional state and patterns. Understand yourself. And like I often say, you cannot solve a problem you are not aware of. You can solve a problem you are not aware of. Please, can we mute ourselves? Please, can we mute ourselves? Now we have self-regulation. Control emotional impulses and respond constructively. Self-regulation is your ability to control your emotional impulses, your ability to respond constructively. Then we have motivation. What is that thing that drives you? You see a lot of people that will tell you that I am just going to this work because of the money. No, you need to have internal motivation. You see, is it J.J. Okocha that said something years back? He said right from childhood, he loves playing football. He just so enjoyed playing football that even if you don't pay him, he will play football. That is to say, he had motivation. There's something that drives him, and that is why it is often advised. Do the things that you enjoy doing. Do the jobs that you have passion to do, so that even if there's no money in it, there's this drive you have. There's this drive. So purpose-driven, persistent, optimistic, having a positive outlook. So we say, okay, all right. Empathy, understand and relate to others' emotion. That is empathy. You understand and you relate to others' emotion. We have social skills, influencing your ability to influence in interaction, in communication, and in collaboration. And we have an interactive. Name that emotion that you're feeling. You see, one of the essence of this masterclass or of this training is for you to understand your emotions, for you to know those triggers that put you in that state. Identify emotions through pictures, tone, body language, sharpen emotional literacy and awareness. Then we have self-reflection checkpoints where you need to reflect. Now you ask yourself, am I aware of my emotions? Do I misread others' emotions? Do I pause before reacting? How do I express empathy? How do I express empathy? So summary, emotional quotient and intelligence quotient in leadership and conflict. 5 emotional quotient domains are learnable. They are learnable. Your empathy, your self-awareness, your social skills, your motivations, they are learnable. So the quote by your intelligence quotient is your ability to understand others. That is our Howard Gardner. Howard Gardner said, he said, your emotional quotient is your ability to understand other people, what motivates them, how to work cooperatively with them. Your emotional quotient is your ability to understand other people, what motivates them, how to work cooperatively with them. That is according to Howard Gardner. Take an online, today in the social media space, we have a lot of this on the social media space. So take out your time. There are online tests. Of course, we'll take some of them while at the end of this class. Keep a daily emotional journal. That is to say, pen down your emotions. Try to guard your emotions. Try to know why you get triggered. Practice one empathy-focused action daily. One empathy-focused action daily. Now, we are on unit 2. Are we together? Can I see a thumbs up to show that we are together? All right. All right. Am I too fast? Can somebody place on the chat box? Am I too fast? Do I slow down? Can somebody pen something down? All right. All right. Okay, so unit 2. Though I'm not seeing a write-up, can somebody write something?
And sorry, there's something, the chat box is not enabled.
Okay, we'll do something about that. All right, so let's go to Unit 2, Learning Objectives. Learning objectives. Identify and manage emotional triggers. Develop discipline and emotional stability. Develop discipline and emotional stability. Develop discipline, chat box is not working, and emotional stability. Understand emotional neuroscience. Understand emotional neuroscience. Pursue emotional self-mastery. Self-awareness. Okay, so recognize emotions. Self-awareness is about recognizing your emotions. Number one is also understanding your triggers. The impacts reflect on behavioral patterns. Behavioral patterns. And Carl Jung said something. He said something. He said, unconscious conscious. He said, until you make the unconscious conscious. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. He says, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Self-management. Self-management. Respond versus react. You see, a lot of people, they just react. And we say one thing about emotional intelligence is that you should know how to respond. You should be able to stay calm. You should be able to control the stress. Practice, pause, breathe, think, and respond. When you see, like we often say, when you feel the impulse to speak is when you should not speak. When you feel the impulse to speak is when you should do what? Not speak. Then we have leadership, negotiation, leadership, and parenting. See the chat. Mastery, self-mastery, consistent emotional regulation. That is one of the things you need to master. Your ability to consistently understand your emotions and regulate them. Long-term clarity, discipline, influence. Long-term clarity, discipline, influence. Long-term clarity, discipline, influence. You see, when you are aware, you gain power. When you are intentional, you gain control. When you are aware, you gain power. When you are intentional, you gain control. That is one thing about emotional intelligence. You are intentional. You are calm. You are able to understand your emotions. Now we talk about the tools and strategies. You need to have emotional journaling. You need to track your emotional state. Like we said, it's about discipline. It's about being intentional. You need to track your emotional state, the triggers, the responses, and the insight. I was speaking with a lady, and we were having a mediation session, and she said something. She said she observes they've been having conflict with the husband and comes up and on. And she said, but however, she understood that it is towards her menstrual period that these issues come up. Probably, there's these hormonal changes that occurs with women. So she was able to track and understand that when it gets close to her menstrual cycle, her emotions are like haywire and crisis erupts in the home. Now, she said that she now discovered that the pattern of the crisis in the home always comes towards that period. Now, what has she done? She has been able to track her emotional states. She has been able to track her emotional states. Now, we talk about triggers. What are those things that trigger your emotions? The responses you give and the insights. Sorry, I think we're having an issue with the chat box, so we would do that. Oh, then let's go to reflect weekly. And now there's this other tool that you can use. the 90-second rule by Dr. Jill Bolt Taylor. 90-second rule. Emotion, it is said that emotion lasts 90 seconds chemically. That's the metabolism, the chemical reaction in your body. That every tense emotion, if you can give it 90 seconds, 90 seconds, you'll be back. You'll be back. You see, sometimes you're driving and you see people, someone who is gentlemanly dressed on the traffic road, he will just stop on the center of the road, jump out of the car. He wants to fight someone. The chemicals. So avoid mentally replaying stories. Those things that get you upset, there's no point going over them. Now, breathe, control, and mindfulness. Inhale. There's this practical tool you can use. You inhale 4 seconds, you hold 4 seconds, and you exhale 6 seconds. You inhale 4 seconds, you hold the breath 4 seconds, and you exhale 6 seconds. All right, can we just take a second so that we put back the chat box? Thank you. So I will get the chat box working. All right, so we're almost back. Okay, so we are back. Can someone try to drop a message? Let's see whether it's working. Okay, so we have a role play before and after emotional quotient. Reenact emotional incidents without emotional quotients. So we have a storytelling. You can use storytelling as a leader. The day I lost my temper, share emotional failure and learning. That is to say, in the place of work. Mastery equals to strategy, not suppression. That's to master your emotions. When you understand your emotion, it's not that you're suppressing these emotions. You are taking a strategic approach. You are understanding it. You understand the trace patterns. You own your own growth. Like we said, emotional intelligence is what can be grown. It is developed. You can actually develop it. You can actually develop your emotional intelligence. Self-mastery is the key to influence. Self-mastery is the key to influence. Now, journaling. What are my triggers? You see, the truth of the matter is that it is a work in progress. You need to follow it gradually. It's a work in progress. So you ask yourself, what are my triggers? What are those things that get me off the handle? How do I handle frustration? What does maturity look like? Who challenges my control as a leader? You are in a meeting and you feel, who challenges my control? You need to pinpoint these aspects as an emotional intelligent individual. Then we have empathy, relationship. management, and conflict transformation. Our leading objectives in this Unit 3 will be how to apply empathy in relationship, to use emotional intelligence to manage conflicts, building emotional quotient-powered relationships. Those will be what we are looking at in this particular unit. Empathy, like we often say, it's not sympathy, it's presence and understanding. Empathy is presence and understanding. Empathy is about finding echoes of another person in yourself. Empathy is about finding echoes of another person in yourself. That is to say, you are present, you are empathetic. Like you go to where someone lost the husband, so to speak, and you go to empathize. You're not going there to sympathize. Sympathy is God don't die. But empathy is you come in there, you sit with the person, you said, I am here. I might not really know how you feel, but if you want to talk, I am here. I understand this is serious. This is I can't really explain what you're going through, but I am here. I am here for you. Anything you want me to do, I will do it. Now, you're trying to put yourself in the person's shoe. That is what empathy is all about. Now, we have types of empathy. We have cognitive empathy. That is to say, understand this perspective of the other person. Understand their perspective. Now, there's a difference between understanding and agreement. For the fact you understood their perspective does not mean you agree with them. That's empathy. Empathy means that I understand how you feel. Even if you don't agree, but you understand. Now, you have emotional empathy. Feel what they feel. You feel what the person feels. As a leader, you need to show emotion. You need to understand, okay, someone comes late. And as a leader, you always come in late. No, that's not how to go about it. Do we need to talk about this? I observe that you most times come late. Is there a problem? That is emotional. You allow the person to open up. Compassionate. You need to act with support. So the emotional quotient relationship is one, you listen, you validate, you respond, and you create emotional safety. You listen, you validate, you respond, and create what? Emotional safety. Now you can say, you seem upset. You want to talk? Now that is an empathetic way to speak. That sounds exhausting. Conflict and emotional quotient. Now, we say conflict equals opportunity if managed well. Conflict equals what? Opportunity if managed well. And like I often say, every mistake is an opportunity to do better. Every mistake is an opportunity to do better. So when as a leader, you understand that conflict will arise. And the truth of the matter is this: as long as human existence is concerned, conflict is inevitable. We often give the example of the tongue and the teeth in the mouth, irrespective of the fact that these two bodies grew up together. Sometimes the tongue will mix his step and the teeth will come on hard. So conflict will occur as long as two people are together. So it is an opportunity if managed. Please, can you mute yourself, Mrs. Deborah? Identify emotions, calm tensions. Use respectful tone. Use what? Respectful tone. Negotiation, mediation, family, workplace, community. Peace is not the absence of conflict. Peace is not the absence of conflict. Like, you see, when we talk about, you see, I often say to people, when you see couple celebrating 30 years of blissful marriage, understand They are celebrating 30 years of endurance, 30 years of tolerance, 30 years of understanding, and 30 years of patience. Peace is not the absence of conflict. No. However, it is the ability to manage the situation. They have conflicts in the home. They have disagreements in the home, but there is agree to agree. They have a way to walk through those disagreements. They have a way to walk through those disagreements. Arguments, reenactment without intelligence, emotional quotient versus with emotional quotient. So let's go to the next slide. Use one emotional quotient skill to de-escalate real-life conflict. Now, from what you have been learning over time, use one emotional quotient skill to de-escalate real-life conflict, because what we are saying here is that these are practical things you will face in life. These are practical situations you will confront. So now, the levels of listening. We have passive listening, we have attentive listening, we have empathic listening. Now, understand, when we talk about listening, it's different from hearing. Listening is different from hearing. Now, you can hear sound. You can hear the sound of a car. Someone might be talking to you. You're only hearing them. You're not listening. You're not listening. I'll close that door. You're only hearing them. You are not what? Listening. So, passive listening, it means that you're just hearing. Attentive listening, okay, all right, you're talking, you're just waiting for him to finish so that you say what you want to say. But empathic listening is what we're talking about, where the person is talking, you're listening, you say, I understand. Like I said earlier, understanding does not connote agreement. For the fact you are saying something and I say I understand does not mean I agree with what you are saying. It does not mean I agree with what you are saying. Reflective feedback. Restate feelings to validate. Restate the feelings to what? To validate. Like, you felt unsupported. Is that right? Somebody is saying something. You're listening to the person. You restate what the person is saying. You say, you felt unsupported. Is that right? Now, the escalate phrases. Let's slow down. I want to understand you. I want to understand you. Help me see your side. You're rephrasing what the person is saying. You see, you hear, you feel, say, do, need. Use before tough conversations. Use before the applications you use before tough conversation. So, empathy does not connote agreement. It connotes recognition. Empathy does not mean I agree, because I empathize with your situation and what you are going through does not mean I agree to it. It means I recognize it. Emotional quotient defends relationship, not positions. Emotional quotient defends relationship, not position. One of the things you understand is there's what we call position and wants, and interest and needs. When people, okay, something, we're in a meeting and one of the mediators share a scenario that happened. The husband had been married to this woman for 32 years. And he says, Banayi, that means I'm not doing again. I want a divorce. And like, you guys have been married for 32 years. So why all of a sudden you want to divorce? He said, I don't want the marriage any longer. She's this, she's that, she's this, she's that. So the both of them were in the session, the disputing parties were in the session, and they decided to do caucusing. They do caucuses, like to separate. Caucus means that you're separating the parties. So when they separated the man kept talking about the bad thing the wife is doing over the years, that he has endured a lot of things. So he's no longer, he took a position. This is what I want. I want her to leave my house. Now, when it was the turn of the woman, when it was the turn to hear the woman, she now said that the truth of the matter is that forget all these things he's saying. It's just that I have retired. So he said that the gratuity should be paid to his account. And I said, no, that is what is causing the problem. Baba, you can see. Now, he gave, when people are in disputes, as a mediator, as an expert, as an intelligent, emotional intelligent individual, one of the things you need to understand is look beyond the position they are taking. Look beyond what they say they want. Look at the interest. Look at their need. It's just like we often say, two children are fighting over an orange. Then you, the mother, you just come in, you think it's the orange, so you just carry the orange and you cut into two and give this one half and give the other one half. And you just discover that this other one just peeled the back and threw the fruits inside the dustbin. Now, what you're supposed to do is, okay, you want the orange, you want the orange. Now, that is the position. Now, what do you need it for? The other one might tell you that I just need the bag. And this one says, I want the fruit. That is different between understanding positions and interest, understanding wants and needs. Emotional quotient defends relationship, not position. Like he said, people may not forget what you decided. Sorry, people will forget what you said. People will forget what you said, but they will not forget what you decided, especially if it affected their lives deeply. They will not forget what you decided, especially if it affects their lives negatively or deeply. So that is why we need to be careful with people. Now, reflection. When did I last truly listen? You can ask yourself. A lot of people, someone is talking to you and you already have an answer to what he's saying. You've not even listened to him. Now, emotional intelligence says that you allow the person to ventilate. You allow the person to speak. Now, which empathy type is hardest for me? What pattern do I follow in conflict? What emotional habits do I need to change? These are reflections that you need to do. You remember we talk about being aware, being aware, being aware. Emotionally intelligent leadership and decision making. Learning objectives in this unit will be understand how emotional quotient enhances leadership in all settings. Combine emotional insight with logic for decision making. Build habits of trust, peace, and productivity. Reflect on personal leadership, emotional quotient, and growth areas. Now, the conscious leader integrating heart and head. That is the conscious leader. What he does is that he uses his heart, he uses his head. He is purpose-driven, emotionally aware leadership. He is emotionally aware in his leadership drive. Traits are self-aware, empathic, grounded, principled. That is some of the attributes of an emotional, intelligent leader. Now, as an emotional quotient action, one of the things you need to do is to connect before you correct. You don't just, no. You connect, you try to get them. You try to get them to know that you are on their side. Listen before you lead. As a leader, listen, hear people, pause before speaking. Don't be in a haste to speak. Don't always be in a haste to speak. Listen, learn before judging. Learn before you judge. Learn. Try and learn. Understand what this person is saying before you judge the individual. You learn before you judge the individual. Leadership is not about being in charge. It's not just about you being in charge. It's about being in control. When you are aware, you are powerful. When you are intentional, you gain control. Decision making in chaos. Think, feel, the ACT model. Think, analyze facts and value. As a leader, one of the things you need to do is to analyze the facts and the values. The feel, acknowledge emotions, yours and others. Put yourself in their shoes. As an emotionally intelligent leader, you don't take decisions abruptly and irrationally. You want to put yourself in the shoes of others. You choose your pace when you're acting and purpose-driven actions. Choosing dialogue over retaliation in conflict. This is as a leader. You choose dialogue over retaliation in conflict. Of course, you know, as a leader, your subordinates or your people, they will get on your nerves. That is normal. They will get on your nerves. But choose dialogue. Privately, choose dialogue. Now, leadership emotional quotient habits. Know your people. Try to have knowledge of the people you're leading. Understand their drivers, needs, and emotions. Show genuine care. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. They don't care how much you know. They want to know how much you care, and that is where emotional intelligence comes into play. Respond, don't react. Respond, don't react. Stay calm under pressure. Use mistake as learning opportunities, like we said earlier. Share your vision with passion. Now, understand as a leader, the people you're leading are not spirits. It's only God that knows your intention. Man sees your actions. So you need to share the vision. You need to share the vision. They need to understand the vision for them to work with you. Don't assume. Don't assume. Don't assume with people. Inspire with heart and storytelling. Bring relatable stories. Bring instances, challenges that you were able to overcome. Make it interactable. Apologize as a leader when necessary. Don't feel a leader is a human being. Show humanity as a leader. If you know you did wrong, you apologize. Apologize when necessary. Show humility and accountability. We were having a discussion earlier today about a leader in a particular sector, and he told the people to organize something and raise funds for that thing, and it was used for something separate, and he didn't feel the need to apologize for that, but was like, this is me, this is the leader, I can do what I want to do. No, 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 it is wrong. You owe the people accountability as a leader, because when you don't lead in that line of accountability, you don't expect that. You show humility. You are accountable. You can put it, I was wrong, I will do better. You're a human being. So examples of emotional quotient leadership. We have Nelson Mandela. For 27 years, Nelson Mandela was in prison for 27 good years. But he was emotionally intelligent. He chose reconciliation over revenge. He didn't say, I will deal with them. And today, everybody, even those that were not born during that era, they hear of Nelson Mandela because he was an emotionally intelligent leader. Empathetic boss. You correct privately during employees' personal crisis. And that is one thing bosses do. No, when you want to correct people, except when it is absolutely necessary, and however, even at that, you reflect on the words you want to use. But the best time to correct is to correct privately. Everyone has ego. No one wants to be doxed down in the midst of other people. So as an emotionally intelligent leader, you strive as much as possible to call the employee out and correct them personally and privately. Interactive leadership, self-awareness. Stay calm, empathize, inspire, handle criticisms, admit errors. Now, so let's self-reflection, your strengths, your growth area, habits to improve, because part of this class is to make it practical and relatable. So you should ask yourself, where are those areas that I think I need to grow? Habits to improve. Now, you are Public insult by subordinates. So how do I react as a leader? How do you respond to public disrespect as a leader? Do you throw up the handle? And like we shared in our first class by Laura, talked about Jega doing election coalition in 2003 and 2000. Is it 2000 and Jega election 2015? Thank you. In 2015, there was this Orubebe. When the coalition was going on and it was obvious that the sitting president, Goodluck Jonathan, will lose. And you know, we have sycophants in the corridors of power. So Orubebe went to the coalition center, took the front stage, sat there, said nothing will happen. Jega was calm. Jega was calm. He allowed him to exhibit everything he wants to do. You see, an emotionally intelligent leader knows that he carries the responsibility of the people. If Jega had given an order for Orubebe to be thrown out, the nation would have boiled. He understood what he was carrying. He understood his position as a leader. So what did he do? He was calm. He allowed the man to do the drama. He allowed him to do the drama. And at the end of the day, calmness came. Please, can you mute yourself, Deborah? And at the end of the day, what? Calmness. How do you respond to public disrespect as a leader? And those are one of the things that Jega showed. So now, intelligent, quotient responses. You pause, you delay reaction. We talked about the 90 seconds chemical dynamics. You pause, you delay reaction. Invite private dialogue. This is a winner all the time. Private dialogue is a winner all the time. A lot of things that people will not want to say in public, when you call them privately, they will say it and there will be a resolution. Clarify respectfully. Clarify respectfully. Try to understand. Don't assume people. Don't assume people. Dangers of impulsive reaction. That is like a group discussion. You can do that. Influence of emotional maturity. Emotional maturity. Now, final takeaway. Lead yourself before leading others. How emotionally intelligent are you as a leader that you want to get other people to work with? You should lead yourself before leading others. Like I said earlier, as a leader, if you don't know that you have problem with your emotions, how can you know that of others? You know, we have what we do where we point the finger at the other person and they are pointing right back at us. So lead yourself before leading others. Emotional quotient, ethically impactful leadership. If you have emotional intelligence, you are ethically impactful, an impactful leader. Like I said, people may forget what you decided. People may forget what you decided, especially they will not forget what you decided against them and when it hurts them deeply. Reflective questions. How do I respond under stress? How do I respond under stress? Any emotional decisions I regret? That's, you can ask yourself, you see, like we're getting to the place where we do a self-assessment. Now, I want you to be honest with these answers because that is how you develop your emotional intelligence. You need to be honest about this. How do I respond under stress? Any emotional decisions I regret, as in so to speak, what are the emotional decisions I regret? Do I empower or diminish others? As a leader, do I empower or diminish others? Do I make them feel less of themselves? What emotional quotient habit must I strengthen? These are like you are doing an overview of yourself. What legacy do I want to leave as a leader? What legacy do I want to leave? When people talk about me, what do I want them to say? And this is our final module, our final unit. Applying emotional intelligence in real life. Applying emotional intelligence in real life. Application. Emotional quotient as daily life and conflict tools. ADR, one, ADR and mediation, alternative dispute resolution and mediation. Recognize emotional needs behind disputes. Like I said earlier, understand the needs. Understand the needs, not the wants. Understand the need. People come to positions with wants. Now, as an emotional intelligent leader, you need to look beyond the want and the position and look for the need and the interest. Recognize emotional needs behind disputes, like I said earlier. Listen for unspoken feelings. They escalate through empathy. Now, land dispute rooted in past family neglect. Lessons. Conflict is about healing, not winning. In conflict resolution, one of the things we say is that it is about a win-win situation. When we talk about ADR, we'll talk about alternative dispute resolution. We're talking about an alternative to litigation. In litigation, what you do is that you have a win-lose outcome. However, in alternative dispute resolution, what you have is a win-win outcome where compromises are made. So when we look at faith, religious settings, leaders influence emotionally and spiritually challenges, ego, criticism, emotional overload. Now, for leaders. So let's look at that. Now, as a leader or in the faith institute, lead with humility. Lead with humility. You know, there's something that is obvious. The truly wealthy people are humble. If you've observed that, they are always humble. Preach as a pastor with compassion. Preach with compassion. Preach with compassion. Don't make the people feel as if they are devil, they are Satan themselves, and you are that pious, sanctimonious individual. No, 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 no. Show compassion to the people. Lead with humility. Counsel with emotional awareness. Don't be aloof. No. Take the cloak of the individual. Show that you understand their situations. Example, pastor handles challenges with grace. Spiritually mature equals to emotionally mature. Spiritually mature at workplace, emotional quotient drives retention, trust, and innovation. Emotional quotient drives what? Retention, trust, and innovation. Use emotional quotient to what? To motivate and support staff. When you use your emotional quotient, emotional intelligence to motivate and support staff, use it to resolve conflict. Offer kind feedbacks. Kind feedbacks. Private conversation leads to restored performance. Like I said, use private dialogue. It is a game changer any day, anytime, anywhere. Private conversation leads to restored performance. Key points. People quit emotionally unintelligent leadership. You see people that will tell you that I'm no longer working there. I feel I'm not appreciated. I feel it's not about the money. Close it down. It's not about the money. People quit emotionally unintelligent leadership. Marriage and family. Emotional literacy nurtures love and harmony. Emotional literacy nurtures what? Love and harmony. Emotional quotient home practices. Name the emotion. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling the way I am feeling? Name the emotions. Pause before reacting. Don't be quick to react. No, an emotionally intelligent individual is not quick to react. Pause before reacting. Use empathy in communication. Do what? Use empathy in communication. Now, parenting with emotional quotient. Validate children's feelings. These children, they have feelings. Your child has feelings. They do. Teach regulation, emotional regulation. Calm correction teaches discipline. Be calm. Don't, you know, there's this parent I know that we had to talk to. When she is angry, she does transfer aggression on the children, and that is wrong. Be calm. If you know that your anger will get you to overreact, don't correct that child while you're still angry. Allow yourself to calm down. Calm correction teaches what? Discipline. Calm correction teaches discipline. Emotional quotient prevents violence. It prevents violence because when people understand themselves, when people are aware of their emotions, when people are empathetic, it prevents violence. It promotes peaceful dialogue. An emotionally intelligent leader would always resort to dialogue, peaceful dialogue. Advocate your position calmly. Don't shout. No, calm down. Handle criticism maturely. People will criticize. Separate the criticizer from the criticism. Most times, those criticism, ask yourself, this thing that this person is saying, is it true? That's what an emotionally intelligent leader does. You don't just look at, because criticism is coming from so person, you create hatred, you create animosity within. No. Separate the criticizer from the criticism. Separate it. Say, okay, this thing that is being said, is it true? Handle criticism maturely. Build trust among diverse groups. Doctor yesterday took us on cultural diversity. People come with diverse cultural inclinations. So build trust among diverse groups. Example, moderator builds trust by acknowledging both sides. As a moderator, as a mediator, as an emotionally intelligent facilitator, you understand both sides. You don't take sides. You've lost the option of taking sides. So reflect on personal conflicts. Identify triggers and emotional quotient tools for better outcomes. So now, one of the bonus tools we're looking at here is emotional journal templates. Morning, your intention. Write out your intentions in the morning. In the evening, review those things you wrote out. You need, one thing about emotional intelligence is to be aware of your emotions, to regulate your emotions, to be conscious, to be intentional, self-awareness, checklist, knowing your triggers. You can come back and say, okay, today, how did I act? Did I go off the trigger? Did I shout? Why did I do what I did? Those are knowing your triggers. Pause to reflect. Pause what? To reflect. Pause to reflect. Now you can say, tell me more. How can I support you? How can I support you? Look at issues, emotions, perspective, emotional quotient, responses. Emotional quotient leadership action plan. Choose growth areas. That to say, choose areas you need to grow. Choose areas you need to work on. Practice habits. Practice emotional intelligence habit. Set check-in dates. Give yourself a timeline that, okay, I will work. Like we said, it is something you need to develop. Now, okay, so we've come to the angle of assessments. The angle of what? Assessment. So, emotional intelligence masterclass objective self-assessment. I will advise you get a paper or a writing listing so that we just take it. You see, the essence of this masterclass is one, for you to understand your own emotions. That's what we're talking about, emotional intelligence. So let it not be that you just had these 3 days of emotional intelligence masterclass and you are there with yourself. You write what you think you are feeling, how you react to issues. Just be honest with yourself. Multiple choice and scaled rating. Purpose, to assess your understanding and help you reflect on your emotional habit, triggers, strengths, and growth. So, section A, understanding and awareness. understanding, and awareness. Instruction: choose the best option for each question. After selecting, reflect on your answers and mark how well this area is developed in you. Reflect on your answers and mark how well this area is what? Developed in you. Emotional intelligence means now, so from what we have said, okay, let me see. From what we have said, what do you understand by emotional intelligence? A, it means reading people's mind. B, avoiding emotional issues. C, managing emotions and understanding others. And D, being emotionally dramatic. So can somebody just raise hands and what do you think this is?
Managing your emotions and understanding others.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. So now the next one is you score yourself from 1 to 5. Now you need to write that one down. At the end of the day, we'll take the total and you see, you'll be able to assess your emotions. I regularly manage my emotions and show empathy. I regularly manage my emotions and show empathy. Do you regularly manage your emotions? Do you show empathy? So just write it down between 1 to 5. Write it down. I regularly manage my emotions and show empathy. If you know you don't really manage well, you can put 1. I rarely manage. So let's go to this one. The 90-second rule teaches that, from what we have learned this evening, the 90-second rule teaches that anger lasts forever. A. B. Emotion is a choice. C. Emotion pass chemically in 90 seconds. D. Breathing doesn't affect emotion. Can somebody please give us the answer to that? From A to D. The 90-second rule teaches that. All right, can somebody say that?
Answer is C.
The answer is C. Emotions pass chemically in 90 seconds. Excellent. Excellent. So let's do the self-score between 1 to 5. I pause before reacting and allow emotions to settle. I pause before reacting and allow emotions to settle. Now, this is your personal one. So you write it down. Do you pause or do you just react abruptly? Are you somebody who is quick-tempered? If you are, you put 1. If you know you're working on it, you put between 2 and 3. Then if you know you are perfectly in that area, you put 5. That is for you. So just put that as we go forward. Now, the other question is, which is a component of Daniel Goleman's emotional quotient model? Which is a component of Daniel Goleman's emotional quotient model? A, multitasking. B, self-awareness. C, intelligence. D, speed reading emotions. So who can give us that answer between A and D?
B.
Olayemi. Excellent. You say, come again, sir?
B, self-awareness.
Self-aware. Excellent. 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 So let's take the self-score 1 to 5. I am aware of how I feel and I know how emotions affect me. You're telling yourself, now this is your self-assessment. I am aware of how I feel, and I know, that is to say, you can name your emotions, and I know how emotions affect me. If you know, you already know how your emotions, you put 5. If you don't know, you're working to it, you put 3. If you know you really don't know, these things just happen, you just ask yourself, why do I act the way I, you put 1. So that we can work on the areas you know you are need help. So we go to the next one. Which is a social skill of emotionally intelligent leaders? Which is a social skill of emotionally intelligent leaders? A, ignoring problems. B, correcting without connection. C, listening, validating and inspiring. D, taking positions to dominate. Which of them, please? Can somebody give us A to D? Sorry?
Listening, validating,
Listening, validating, and inspiring.
Excellent. Excellent. C. Excellent. Excellent. So the self score is between 1 to 5. I listen before I lead and influence others positively. I listen before I lead and influence others positively. So you can score yourself in the self-assessment score. Let's go forward. A compassionate empathy response sounds like A, that's not a big deal. B, I feel bad for you. C, I see you are struggling. How can I help? D, try harder next time. Can we have that answer? Can somebody just... Sorry?
C.
Hello?
C.
C. Excellent.
Yeah.
I see you are struggling. How can I help? So let's take the self-assessment score. I show empathy in words and action. Please rate yourself between the scores of 1 to 5. I show empathy in words and action. So what is the first step in the escalating conflict with emotional quotient? What's the first step in the escalating conflict with emotional quotient? A, walk away. B, identify emotion. C, ignore the person. D, blame the other. Can somebody give us that answer?
Identify emotion.
B.
Identify emotion. Excellent. Excellent. So the self-score is 1 to 5. I can name emotions in tense situations. That you can name your emotions in tense situations. Score yourself between 1 to 5. You go forward. Which habit reflects emotional self-regulation? Which habit reflects emotional self-regulation? A, shouting to release tension. B, delaying reaction and reflecting before speaking. C, venting publicly. D, avoiding the issue.
Delaying reaction and reflecting before speaking.
Excellent. Excellent. So step score 1 to 5. I pause, think, and respond mindfully. I pause, think, and respond mindfully. So score yourself 1 to 5. In the workplace, emotional quotient help leaders to... A, command obedience. B, motivate, connect, and resolve issues. C, control staff strictly. And D, avoid emotional expressions.
B, motivate, connect, and resolve issues.
Excellent. Excellent. So our self score 1 to 5 is I use emotional intelligence to lead and relate with people. I use emotional intelligence to lead and relate with people. So score yourself between 1 to 5. We'll get to where we'll look at what you scored yourself and you'll be able to see your chart. You will know where you are in this whole system setup. That's why I said give a honest review of yourself. Now, emotional intelligence in marriage through family helps to what? A, keep everyone quiet. B, build emotional safety. C, argue better. D, criticize without empathy. Can we get someone? Other people, please participate.
Which is...
So, I'm not hearing that.
Safety.
Sorry? Is someone saying something? Emotional intelligence in marriage through family helps to keep everyone quiet, build emotional
safety.
Oh, excellent. B, build emotional safety. So 1 to 5 score says, I communicate and connect with love and understanding. I communicate and connect with love and understanding. Score yourself. Let's go to the next one. Spiritual mature leaders are emotionally mature because they preach harder. A. B, they have titles. C, They control their emotions with humility and empathy. And D.
They control their emotion
C.
with humility and empathy.
C.
Great. That's C. Lovely. Lovely. Then score yourself 1 to 5. I show maturity in leadership, criticism, and spiritual influence. I show maturity in leadership, criticism, and spiritual influence. Let's go to the next one. Section B, personal score self-assessment. So can you rate yourself? Can you total what you have? 1 to 5. Can you total that while we take this? Rate yourself from 1 to 5. From 1 to 5. So rate yourself from 1 to 5 on D. So let's go to this now. 1 to 5. 1, I can recognize my emotional triggers. Between 1 to 5. If you can recognize it, you put 5. If I can't recognize it, you put 1. If you hardly recognize it, you put 2 or 3. If you're sometimes recognizing, 2, I stay calm under pressure. I stay calm under pressure. Do you stay calm under pressure? These are self-assessment. 3, I show empathy when others are in distress. I show empathy when others are in distress. Is that true? Remember, we'll ask your spouse or we'll come to your place of work to know. 4, I reflect before reacting emotionally. 4, I reflect before reacting what? Emotionally. 5, I apologize sincerely when I am wrong. 5, I apologize sincerely when I am wrong. Between 1 to 5. 6, I listen actively and attentively in conversations. I listen actively and attentively in conversations. That means to say, I don't interrupt. So if you're that, you put 5, you know you're working on it, you put 3, you put 2, you put 1. 7, I handle conflict with maturity and emotional control. I handle conflict with maturity and emotional control. 8, I encourage others with kind, motivating words. 8, I encourage others with kind, motivating words. Between 1 to 5, can you score yourself? 9, I can identify my emotional growth areas. 9, I can identify my emotional growth areas. 10, I make peace-building decisions even when I feel wrong. 10, I make peace-building decisions even when I feel wrong. Okay, can we score ourselves? Let's see the total score you have.
Still, the message is not working.
Yes, can you just speak out? Tell us your number.
Okay, number 1. This is the email
No,
for like number.
just call yourself totally.
Okay.
Add up your total from 1 to 10.
Okay.
Because it's your personal. So what do you have? What do you have?
I have 50 over 50.
Wow, that's Olayemi, right?
Yes.
Wow, okay. Who again? Who again?
I have 45 over 50.
Okay, that's lovely. Okay, all right, let's see. Total score is 50. If you have between 40 to 50, you have high emotional quotient, you are emotionally intelligent and likely inspire others. If you have between 30 to 39, you are growing emotional quotient, you are aware and on the path of emotional mastery. If you have 20 to 29, developing, you need more practice with emotional quotient habits. And if you are below 20, reflect and begin practical steps from this training. Now, the essence of this is to become aware of our emotions. To become aware of our emotions. So, based on your answers above, what is your strongest emotional quotient skill? Which area do you want to grow in? What daily habits will you begin immediately? Closing thoughts. Emotional quotient is a lifelong transformation. Emotional quotient is a lifelong transformation for leaders, mediators, parents, and professionals. You can join the mentorship class, emotional quotient community, collect upgrade certificates, follow us on radio, YouTube, attend advanced classes. In final closing, practice daily. Emotional quotient is a muscle. Use it to grow. Be a leader the world needs. Wise, compassionate, emotionally intelligent. Thank you. Thank you. All right. All right. So, okay, hello. Are we in class?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. So, did we gain something today?
Yes, I really gained a lot, and it has really opened my eyes to a lot of things I was taking for granted before.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Any other person?
Today on was also awesome. I learned a lot, and also I learned how to control my emotions to discover myself more and more. It's so excellent, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very, very much. Deborah?
Today's lecture was very insightful for me. Quite well, somehow fast. I could not write down much.
Okay.
I believe, and if you take it around, I will make up through.
Yes. We avail you the materials. We avail you the materials. Lovely. Lovely. Okay. Okay. All right. So, wow, it has been a journey we have had together. Let me start by saying a huge congratulations to every one of you who have been in this class. I want to congratulate you. Whether you joined from day one or came in later, your commitment, attention, and participation have been outstanding. It has been outstanding. This wasn't just another online class. It was a time of reflection. It's a time of learning and transformation. Sincerely speaking, you've learned how to better understand your emotions, manage your reaction, and connect with others and communicate more intentionally. And all of this isn't just about knowledge. It's life application. So let's not stop here. Don't let this just end as another note in your phone or memory or in your mind. Start practicing. Start applying emotional intelligence. Become real when you live it. Work in marriage, in parenting, in leadership, even in conflict. Now, allow me to give a very special appreciation to the incredible facilitators who made this masterclass rich and impactful. We have Dr. Tenagugwa. Thank you, sir, for the deep, professional, and engaging session. Your experience and clarity brought real depth to the class, sir. And of course, our lovely barrister Laura Bismarck Emiriole. Thank you, ma, for bringing your expertise, grace, and real-life insight into the room. Your session was not only informative, but also relatable and practical. And to both of you and to everyone who supports behind the scenes, moderators, teammates, and fellow contributors, I say thank you from the depth of my heart. We truly appreciate your time and knowledge and selfless impact. Now, to my dear participants, the cohorts, you people that made this a success, please, this group is here to help. This is not shutting down, going to evolve into a growth and impactful, resourceful platform for you as members of this cohort. You now have access to what additional materials, recording, priority to invite to future training. We'll be having future trainings from the group, free and subsidized learning opportunities. You have first-hand access to top professionals in emotional intelligence, conflict resolution, and communication skills, and ongoing support for your personal and professional growth. You have joined the family of learners, a tribe of emotionally intelligent people who are committed to growing together. So keep engaging, keep sharing, share your wins, ask your questions. You are not alone. Ask your questions in the group. We're there to answer.
Thank you very much for
this journey.
something. Just want to quickly just let you
Once
guys
again,
understand that
thank you, and I trust this is a process that will be interesting.
For the past few months right now, we've been kind of like really connecting people. It's a little difficult, but we've been doing it, and it's actually yielding. And if you're out there and you feel
thank you, everyone.
Somebody, and you want to be able to do it between now and the end of this.
Thank you. Do we have any question? Sorry, our chat box isn't working.
Out there, there are young men out there. They're waiting on
Hello.
Waiting
Hello, sir.
for you.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me once again appreciate the values you have imparted.
Sorry, sir?
I said, let me appreciate the value you have imparted on us this night.
Thank you, sir.
It's awesome. I want to say that we should, like you have said, we should build on this by creating a community.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know how we can get the whatever on the PDF.
Yes, sir. Yes, we'll make that available in the group. That is why we said we are not closing the group. It's a community, and we would also avail every member, every participant in the group more materials on this and other or ADR mechanisms.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Olayemi. Thank you, everyone. All right. In the absence of more questions, we'll be calling it a night. Thank you, and see you in the group.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you, sir. We'll be looking more lectures like this. You know, that's why help building students and strategies.
Yes, ma.
That we can improve.
Yes, ma.
We are told you will learn, and you will learn, and you learn again. So, and it's through seminars and things like this that we can improve.
Yes, ma.
Appreciate you. God bless you, and all the people that put this together. We really appreciate.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much to everyone. Okay, good night.